Fisker magucht. Good afternoon to you. Hope your afternoon or whatever time of day it is over there is going well. Hai che on a main. Oh, hai ho che an sho. On a main and you. Ho che. Gleva. Today's lesson is titled All Day, Every Day. We're going to look at how to say all of something and every something. These are two small words that can really add a lot to your Gaelic. They can really help you express yourself in more detail. Yeah, gleva. So let's jump right in here. We're going to look at the two patterns and then the tricks for how they work. So first of all, let's start with ahula. Ahula. This means every. Ahula. And you can also say gach. That's fine too. Gach, ahula. I learned ahula. And to be honest, I hear ahula more often. Ahula. Yeah, gleva. So the way this one works is you just put whatever it is after ahula. For example, ahula la. Every day. Ahula la. Ahula la. Ahula la. Gleva. To me that feels really nice to say. Ahula la. Hula la. Gleva. Gleva. Ahula la. Every day. What else could we say? Ahula matin. Every morning. Ahula matin. Ahula la. Gleva. What else could we do? Ahula matin. Well, I mean, if we're going with times of day, ahula fiskir, ahula oicha as well. Ahula fiskir. Every afternoon or evening. Yep. Gleva. Ahula oicha. Every night. There we have it. It's a pretty straightforward pattern. You just put the thing you're talking about after ahula. Ahula la, every day. Ahula matin, ahula fiskir, ahula oicha. Okay, are you noticing something about this? Are you noticing perhaps a pattern happening here? To my eye, all of these are singular. It's just day, morning, afternoon, night. It's not every nights, every mornings, every days, every day. Ahula la. So the trick for this one is that we want to use singular forms. Every day, every night. Gleva. Let's keep going. Let's add some more. Ahula. Ooh, every year. Maybe talking about a trip. Ooh. Ahula bliadna. Ahula bliadna. Every year. Every month, I guess. Yeah, why not? Why not? Every month. Month. Ahula, how about every week? Ahula shachkin. Ahula shachkin. Yep. Every week. All these are singular because they follow ahula. Yeah. Gleva. There we go. Now what about things that are not times? We can still say every for something that's not a time. So let's see. Ahula, let's bring this down here. What about every time? Every time I go to sit down, every time I, come home, every time I go to work. Ahula tudis. Ahula tudis is what I learned. You could say ahula uad. Every time. Ahula time. Ahula tiris, ahula ur. Yep, every time I do something. Gleva. What else could we say? Every dog. I like every dog, right? Ahula ku. Every cat. Ahula kacht. Ahula. What else could we put in? Hula oran. Every song. Hula oran as well. Yeah. So we can plug in really any word to follow a hula, and it will mean every of that. Gleva. So this is how every works in Gaelic. A hula, and then whenever it is, and these are all going to be singular. Gleva. All right, let's come over to talking about all day, for example, all afternoon, all evening. This all phrase comes up most often with time. So we're gonna bring over some of our examples here over to this side of the board. So, for example, let's do fat, and then we want to say day, right? All day. But there's a trick. We don't say fat la, fat an la. You're gonna see what the trick is here in a moment. Fatan la, all day. All day. And you can think of it as all day long. Yeah. Vami agoper fatan la. I was working all day long. Vami ski fatan la. I was tired all day or all day long. Yeah. Gleva. So let's bring over some more of these here. Maten, all morning long. So this is all morning. Ooh, that N. Han N uavasach. Gleva. All morning long. Vami alievig. Fat namachna. I was reading all morning long. Or just, I was reading all morning. Yeah. Gleva. And wait a minute. I claim that this is morning, right? It doesn't look like morning. Matin is what we see most often. What's going on here? What's going on? Maybe you've guessed it already. Our trick for using fat is we add in the genitive. It's very dramatic. Gleva. Gleva. Fat namachna. This means of the morning. This means of the day. Yeah. Yeah. It seems kind of weird. And it can be, it can seem a bit confusing and, feel weird when you first encounter it. But with time, with practice, it'll be just fine. What I highly recommend doing is treating these phrases like fatan la as all day long. Leave it as that. Your mind has enough work to do, kind of processing that, remembering it, bringing it to long-term memory if it gets enough repetitions. But if you interrupt that process by trying to dissect it, that can be really difficult for it to move into the long-term memory. Yeah. That being said, if you are familiar with these phrases, you want to understand a little bit more. I'm going to give you that in a moment. That's fine. That's fine. So, as we know, the genitive is really about saying of something. Of. So, fatan la, all day long. Fat namachna, all morning long. There's no real of in there, but what we're actually saying, fat really means length. Maybe you've seen it with an extra A on the end. Fata. It means long, length. Fat. Yeah. So what we're literally saying is the length of the day. And that's the Gaelic equivalent of all day long. Fatan la. The length of the day. I was reading the length of the day. It kind of makes sense. I was reading for the length of the day. Okay, gleva. I was writing emails the length of the morning for the whole morning long, all morning long. Yeah. Notice in English, we also use the word long, or the idea of a period of time of length. Long, long, length. So there's a connection for all of these here. These just might seem a bit weird right now, and that's okay. Rewatch this video as many times as is useful to you. Yeah, we rarely get things the first time through. I mean, we rarely get everything the first time through. Okay, gleva. So, fatan la, all day long, or more literally, the length of the day. All morning long, fat namachna, more literally, the length of the morning. Let's keep bringing some of these over. Fat, all afternoon, right? Fat an, we need our F there, do. Fat an, yes. And we need a little ending here. Fatanesket. Fatanesket. All afternoon, or all afternoon long. Fatanjesket. Now wait a minute, the sound is weird. Fesket. We have a F sound at the beginning. Fesket. But fatanjesket. There's no F sound. You know, what's going on? It's the FH is silent. That's how it works with FHs like this. They're silent. So we're carrying on the sound of the N right into that E. Fatanjesket. Gleva. All right. Fatanjesket. All afternoon. Or literally the length of the afternoon. For the length of the afternoon I was working, for example. Okay, what about night? Luckily, there's no big change that happens to the word oiche, because remember, we're dealing with the genitive. It's of these things, of the morning, of the afternoon or evening, of the night. Na heiche. Fat na heiche. Fat na heiche. Fat na heiche. All night. I was busy reading or working on something all night. Fat na heiche, the length of the night. Fat na heiche. Leva. All right, we're getting a little crowded here, so I might spread the next ones out a bit. What do we got here? Bliadna, all year. Like, oh, I've been learning Gaelic all year, or all year long. What do we do? Bliadna doesn't change. It's like oiche. Bliadna. Bliadna. We're going to add a na. Of the year. Fat na bliadna. Fat na bliadna. All year. All year. I've been going on Duolingo all year. Fat na bliadna. I've been taking a Gaelic course all year. Fat na bliadna. I've been watching Jason's YouTube videos. Fat na bliadna. All right, so that's how bliadna would work. What else do we got? Mias, all month. All month. Fat a fat avias. All month. And literally the length of the month. Gleva. Gleva. Oh, week. All week long. Yeah, I've had a really busy week. I was busy all week. I was busy all week long. What do we got? Na. I was going to spread these out a bit. Yeah, don't want them to run together too much. Here we go. Na. Shachgein. Shachgeinya. Na shachgeinya. Na shachgeinya. Gleva. So that's all week. Fat na seachtaine, the length of the week. I was busy the length of the week, right? All week long, all parts of the week. Gleva. Okay, sconniel. We've got some great phrases here. And as I mentioned before, fat is oftentimes used with time, meaning like all day, all morning, etc. Gleva. This kind of phrase is used most often with time. But we got some more, well, we got at least one more word here that would be useful to add over here. Ku kacht oran. I mean, we could do length of the song. It's kind of different. So let's keep things totally clear, and let's just add in all the time. All the time. So we have turis and ur. But the most common phrase that I'm aware of and that I was taught for this is a little different from both. We're going to use the word for time. Fat na hunya. Unya, time, unya. Chanel unya akam. I don't have time. Chanel unya akam. Chanel. So, fat na hunya, all the time. Oh, I'm writing emails all the time. Oh, I'm tired all the time. Or, oh, I'm thinking about taking a holiday all the time. Fat na hunya. And remember, literally, we're saying the length of the time. Length of the time. That's why we're adding in the genitive. We want of these things. Gleva. All right. Skoniel. Fat na hunya. Fat na hunya. So let's put a clock here. Glock. What do we got? Fat na machna. We got to have some pictures. It's one of my videos. Gleva. Fat na nisker. Fat na heiche. Ooh. Nah. Gleva. Oh, bria. Agus na bliadna. What do we got? Furliach. And dulach. January and December. Gleva. Fatavias. Fat na seachtaine. Jaluain. Gu. La na sabich or jadonich, depending on which one you say. Yeah, gleva. And then fat na hunya, we got our clock there for unya, for time. Excellent. We've got our pictures. Gleva. So this is how this phrase fat works. All day, all night, all year, all the time, etc. We start with fat as the beginning of this phrase, and then we add in whatever we're talking about afterwards, but it needs to be in the genitive. Gleva. And with these genitive phrases, I highly recommend learning them as they come up. For example, fat and la, all day. Fat namachna. Right, namachna, that's of the morning. All right, and keeping that in mind. Fat namachna, that's a way to anchor that idea in your mind. Fat namachna, it's together, right? All morning long. And then remembering, okay, wait a minute, it means of the morning. That's right. Because you will see these forms in a lot of different contexts. Yeah, so if you already have it within this phrase of like all morning, all year, all week, if you already have this genitive kind of plugged into that, you've already internalized it so that it'll be in your mind the next time you see something that includes this genitive part. Yeah, that can be a skill in itself, identifying those genitives and really picking them out. Yeah, but in terms of just making sure that you're understanding what you hear and say, what you hear and see, fat and la, fat namachna. Right, namachna, that's morning. It's a different form of morning, but it's morning. Okay, next time you see something involving namachna, you'll know it's about the morning. It's kind of a quick way to internalize these genitives. Yeah, I wish I had done it years ago when I first started. Okay, maha. So here's our trick for fat. Here's our trick for ahula. Ahula, really nice, straightforward way of talking about every of something. Ahula tudis, ahula mias, ahula maten. Oh, wait a minute. How could I forget? How could I forget? Ahula dunya. Ahula dunya. You might have heard this already. It's a very popular phrase. Ahula dunya. Everyone. Dinya in this context means person. Every person. Every person, everyone. It's the Gaelic version of everyone. It's the equivalent of everyone. Ahula dunya. Everyone. Every person. Yeah, we need to have that up there too. Okay. Gleva. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I said before, rewatch this video as many times as is useful to you. Sometimes taking a break, sometimes, coming back to a topic later on can be what our brain needs to first kind of take in the idea and then letting it sink in a bit. And then next time through, it's clearer. Absolutely. So don't be afraid to take a break. Skaniel, gleva. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope to see you again in another video. All right. Gleva, maha. Gleva.